Please use the raise hand function. Start with Bob Stauffer, 6:30 Chad.
Morning, Tyson. A lot of people obviously focused on Connor getting 100. He did. For you, you got a chance to lead all defensemen in scoring. You're a point behind, and you got more games left. I mean, does that cross the guy's mind at all? I realize you're focused on, elevating your team's play, but you can't ignore those numbers, can you?
No, I think it's definitely something you want to hit, and it's probably a product of, obviously you saw Connor get his 100 last game. So it's been a pleasure to play with him and Leon this year, and get to work that power play with him. So it'd be cool to be able to do that. But our most important thing is getting our team playing the right way for round one.
From your perspective, when you looked at coming to Edmonton in the offseason, could you have envisioned it going the way it's gone this year for you?
I mean, that was kind of the thought process, and the goal was to be able to come to a team that was, obviously looking to break out and try to win. And with the world-class talent on this team, it was that was kind of the thought process on why I wanted to end up here. And I'm grateful that I was able to get the opportunity to come and get the opportunity to play and play some important minutes.
Josh Clipperton, Canadian Press.
Hey, Tyson, just a little bit bigger picture question. There was some relaxations on COVID protocols announced over the weekend for vaccinated teams and players. That's obviously not the case in Canada. Wondering what you're feeling on that. Are you happy for the guys down south? A little bit of FOMO? Or are you jealous?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. There's a lot of teams down there that are vaccinated now, and we've been in these protocols for a long time. So if it's safe and everyone's able to do it, then absolutely, it's exciting times to be able to get back out there and support some businesses and try to get this thing back on track.
Is it on one? I'm not sure if competitive balances or advantage is the right word, but is there sort of a worry, or is there concern about a two-tiered playoff system where guys down south can bond, play golf, go for dinner, and you guys are still stuck in your rooms 24/7, for lack of a better term?
I mean, the bonding, I think, is it would have been nice a lot throughout the year, but now it's your playoffs is kind of the time of year where you're just kind of staying in your room anyway and getting dialed in and focused, and I don't think it changes too much. And we got a tight-knit team here, so we'll be okay in that respect. And when playoffs come around, it'll be all business. So for as far as time of year, it would have been probably nice to have those relaxed protocols a little earlier, but now it's all business.
Thank you.
Rob Duchkowski, Post Media.
Hi, Tyson. It's not really typical for a goaltender to be one of the emotional leaders on a team. What about Mike Smith allows him to be that guy?
Yeah, Smitty's he's an incredible guy. He's passionate. His intensity it kind of follows him with everything he does. It's it's not just on the ice. Any sort of game or competition you find yourself in with him off the ice too, it can end in a fight or whatever. But he's ended up being a good buddy of mine, and he's such an important part of this team. The way he plays and the way he leads, and I think just his passion he brings to every game is pretty infectious. So we're lucky to have him.
So between periods, say you guys come out to a bad start, is he one of the guys that is doing the talking and saying, hey, that's not
definitely? He's been around a long time. He's played with a lot of great players and a lot of good teams. So he's kind of the one pointing us in the right direction when we're maybe not doing it ourselves. So again, we're lucky to have him, and he's a big part of the leadership and big voice in our room.
Thank you.
Ryan Rishaug, TSN.
Tyson, with the time that you have left, your playoff spot is sewn up. Is there any balance between, making sure that from a fatigue standpoint and a health standpoint, you're good to go versus needing to be playing really good hockey when you hit the playoffs? And how do you, is it full out from here to the end, or how do you balance that?
I think it's probably a bit different guy to guy. If you're battling something or you're got some bumps and bruises, maybe you take a night off or take it a little easier. But other than that, I think you're trying to play and have your game at the top level before you're dropping the puck on game one. And hockey's a weird one where you can't just kind of turn it on. So you got to be confident. You have to be feeling good about your game and where you're at and your game shape. So I think it'll be, at least for me, it'll be a process of trying to play every these last 3 games the right way and trying to get myself ready. So it feels pretty smooth going into playoffs.
It was, it was something on the weekend, the way Connor pulled that game out and hit that milestone. What did you sense in him in the days kind of leading up to that? And, I know it's only been a day, but do you think it's kind of good that's behind him now and he can stop answering questions about it? It's kind of done with now?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any, he's been so focused and his preparation is, incredible all year. And I don't think that changed in the last, week or two. I think that's just, why he was able to put himself in the position to get to 100 points. And it probably is nice for him just to, kind of put it behind him. I think that, there was a lot of focus on it, media focus and stuff. And I'm sure it was a nice feather in his cap, but he's probably just glad to have it over with and now just focus on getting ready for the playoffs.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
Morning, Tyson. I apologize if this has been asked. I was a little late logging on here. I just wonder what Darnell Nurse has meant to your season and your career this season.
Yeah, Nurse's, in my opinion, he's got to be right near the top for Norris this year. I think he's been outstanding all year. He's been playing huge minutes, PK, power play. He's been putting up big numbers, scoring a lot of goals, and he brings it every night. And he's a physical guy, but he also skates super well and moves the puck. And it's been, an absolute pleasure for me to get to play with him. And I think we complement each other nice. And I can't say enough about Nursey and how much he's helped my game and how much he's helped our team and just what he brings every night. It's pretty impressive. So I'm not sure there's anybody who's really doing more for their team on the back end than Nursey is this year.
So you say that you guys complement each other very well. Is there something that he does that allows you to kind of do what you do well on the ice and get the most out of what you can bring to this team?
Well, I think he's obviously, he's a interesting player because he's so good defensively, but he's also, he's pushing the pace, he's jumping into play, he's moving the puck well, he has great hands, and he's kind of got all the tools. So for me, it's nice we can get the puck up the ice really quickly, and we can both join the play. And it's just, I don't think there's anything he does that complements my game as much as I think his game would kind of complement anybody's game. He's a great guy to play with. He's an easy guy to play with. He's always, he'll cover up, some of my mistakes, and he's also able to move the puck up and get it over and create some offense himself. So just very, very well-rounded player. And, I think I'm lucky I get to be the guy on his right side.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Tyson, as someone who's played with the elite of the elite in the last 6 or 7 years, have you learned or discovered a next level aspect to Connor's game that would separate him in your mind?
Yeah, I think his, it's tough. I think everything that he does is so incredible, but his skating, his speed, the way he's able to put himself in positions, and he kind of chips himself the puck and is able to, set himself up for the next, to beat the next guy. It's like nothing I've ever seen. And he's so quick, but the scary thing about him is he's always putting himself in positions to have a chance to score, but I think he's looking to shoot or pass first. So it's pretty incredible. And he's, every night it seems like he's, kind of pushing the pace of the game, and he's on the scoreboard every night, and 2, 3 points. And it's, I don't know we're in it right now, but I think you got to take a step back and kind of just marvel at what he's done this year is pretty incredible. So I think he's obviously separated himself this year as kind of in the number one spot and solidified that pretty heavily. So it's incredible to watch every night.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this includes Tyson Barrie's media availability. questions, please use the raise hand function. So Rob Tychkowski, Post Media.
Hey, Alex, as the playoffs draw closer, I'm just wondering about you, how do you feel? What's your, do you feel your own energy level picking up? What's the excitement like for a guy who's been in those before?
I think personally, we try to use the last 8, 10, 12 games of the season to get your game in order. Make sure you feel good about yourself, physically, mentally. It's not like you can just turn a switch on and off and get ready for playoffs. So I've tried to build my game all year and use the last 3 games here and make sure I feel good about myself. So it's a good test for our team tonight. These are 2 key games for us. Probably as close as playoff types of game as we're going to get.
You guys earned yourself some nice breathing room by clinching a while ago. How nice is that, and how satisfying is that you're not one of those teams that has to wait till the final game of the season and cross your fingers at the out of town scoreboard to see if you're in or not? That you got it done a while ago.
Yeah, I've touched on this before from my first year here to where we're at now. I think just the growth within our group, obviously some key addition throughout the lineup, but it's nice to see our group here playing well. We've had a good year so far, and we're excited for what's ahead of us.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Morning, Alex. The Habs are actually the one North Division team that has given you guys some trouble this year. Your big guys haven't loaded up points on them. I think you're 2-4-1 against them. You got 2 last kicks at them to try to solve that, right? Try to figure that out. Is it important for the psyche of your team to crack that nut a little bit in these next 2 games, Alex?
I think they make us play a little bit different. Obviously, their top 4D or there's no easy ice for us. It's hard to get inside, so they challenge a different part of our game, and I think, like I said earlier, tonight is probably as close as we're going to get as a playoff intensity type of game. So our groups is excited for that.
And one other thing, I know it looks like Koskinen is playing tonight, but you're a guy that's been around hockey a long time. I don't want to say reinvent yourself, but you've had to hang in there, man, and keep finding jobs. Mike Smith is a perseverance type of guy, right? He's matching his best season of his career at age 39. Do you kind of, what's it like for a veteran to watch another veteran put this kind of season together at this age?
Yeah, it's tremendous. This league's hard. This league demands a lot physically, mentally as well. To see, I think for me, the one thing I love about Smitty is his attitude every day. He has one mindset and he wants to win. He brings a lot of energy to our group. It's great to see. He just loves the game, and I think it's a good reminder for ourselves and for myself personally, not to take any day at the rink for granted. You want to appreciate playing in the NHL, and he's the best example of that.
Gene Prince Bay, Sportsnet. Go ahead, Gene. Should be good. We'll come back to you, Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Alex, I remember when you came into the NHL, you had instant success early on, but not a lot of guys have that right away. You've got Ryan McLeod, very speedy winger. You guys have played the last few games with him. He did have a breakaway, but he talked a little bit about maybe he's looking to his guys too much rather than shooting. Do you sit down as a vet and just say, "Hey, kid, we're not going to get mad. We need you to shoot. If you shoot more, it helps us. It helps us as a team."
Yeah, I try to remind them, just go out and play your game. You're a talented center. He's got all the tools to be a successful player in this league. I think my job on the line is retrieve pucks for him, give him opportunities, be a good winger for him, be around the net. Don't overthink it too much, just go and play. And he's got everything to be successful.
Can you compare, last year is very different because of the 4-month break, but you look at your team and how you're going into the playoffs, Alex, you're secured in second. What happens, win or loss these 3 games doesn't matter standing wise, but how important is it, do you feel, to continue the role that this team has been on and to not, relax in quote meaningless games?
Yeah, I think, I don't like to go back in the past, but I remember when I was in Washington, our last 6 weeks or so where we put a great run together and we're feeling good about ourselves. So I think, and that's what we've been talking about as a group here, is how important the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season have been for us. So these last 3 games are just as important. We don't want to forget all the work we've put in, all the details we've added to our game, and these are key matchups for us.
Gene Principe, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, good morning. I just want to clarify, I know it was kind of busy when Connor scored his 100th point, but I believe you were the one that got the puck. Two-part question. If it was you, can you speak to that sort of hockey mentality when teammates are always sort of trying to get that puck when someone scores an important goal or point? And in your career, have you sort of been that guy that has had the opportunity to get a puck on a 50th goal or 100th point or something special for an individual on a team you've been on?
Well, I think that was probably I can only maybe a first goal I can't think of, but I think it's kind of funny. Myself and the Nuge were actually trying to grab that puck, and I thought selfishly, what an honor it's been to be around Connor the last 3 years, and so I can say one day that I've touched the puck that he had his 100 point on the season. So yeah, it's been tremendous to be around him and around all the guys, and from where we were at to where we're at now, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
One more question in English, and then we'll go one in French. Jack Michael, 630 Ched.
Apologies, Alex, because you just said you didn't want to talk about the past, but I do have to ask you a little bit in terms of your experience with Connor McDavid, the leadership he brings, and your experience with Ovi in Washington. Are there some parallels that can be drawn, and can you share some of the things that make both of them good leaders?
Yeah, I think, they're 2 different guys at 2 different standpoints in their careers when I play with them. Obviously, Ovi, he had been through some tougher times, I guess, throughout the playoffs and all those series against Pittsburgh, having a hard time to get past through the second round or whatnot. Connor, obviously, with all the pedigree of what he's done so far in his career and where he's at now, I think they're 2 different guys at 2 different levels. I just think for Connor, how he's grabbed everything around this team here, whether it's on the ice, in the locker room. He leads by example. He's more comfortable being vocal in the locker room, and I think that takes time. So, like I said, it's been a pleasure to be around him in the last 3 years, from my first year here, to see him grow and just get better as a player and as a leader. It's been great.
Thank you. We'll take one question in French. Guillaume François, La Presse.
Oui, allô Alex, j'espère que tu vas bien. Je sais que tu en as parlé un petit peu en anglais, mais vous avez 3 matchs à jouer et avec la situation au classement, comment toi t'abordes cette semaine-là? Puis est-ce qu'il y a des choses que tu fais peut-être différemment, sachant que victoire ou défaite, vous devez être prêt pour la semaine prochaine pour les séries?
Ouais, je crois que c'est important pour nous autres de finir la saison sur une bonne note. Évidemment, c'est 3 matchs peut-être qui n'ont pas d'influence sur le classement, mais c'est 3 matchs qui sont très importants pour nous. Côté confiance, être sûr qu'on qu'on veut arriver en série avec aucun doute de la façon qu'on se doit jouer. Donc, ce soir, je pense que tous les matchs contre Montréal cette année, ça a été des bonnes parties. Puis, c'est un bon test pour nous autres.
Parfait. Merci.
Thank you. This concludes Alex Chason's media availability. Please stay tuned for head coach Dave Tippett. Again, if you have questions, please use the raise hand function. Start with Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Dave, just a question about the games that you have left here. I know we were asking you before about potentially resting guys and such. Do you see any reason or have any intention of having any regulars out of the lineup over the next, between now and the end of the season?
We'll see how it goes game by game, but our group is more focused on making sure our game is in order and pushing forward, but we'll monitor things as the week goes on.
Yeah, I guess maybe a balance there between wanting to have the team hitting on all cylinders, but also making sure all bumps and bruises are completely healed. Like, does it take a player to be banged up to justify resting them or being able to take them out of the lineup, or do you do it just simply for rest reasons potentially?
It would. My gut feeling right now would be we're not going to put anybody in a vulnerable position because of injury, but like I say, we'll just go game by game and see how it goes.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
A couple things, Dave. Morning.
Morning.
The Montreal Canadiens are sort of the one northern team that hasn't, you guys haven't quite cracked that nut. They've been tough on you, and they make you play a different game, and they challenge your team maybe differently than the other teams have. Are these two games important for the Oilers to sort of be able to look themselves in the mirror come Thursday and say, okay, we figured this team out. We can score some goals on them. We can win. We can play our game against them. Do these games mean something in that sense mentally?
Well, they mean something to our team and how we play. Like we understand we're playing Montreal, but we're more focused on what we have to do to make our game successful. So you recognize your opponent and how they're going to play, and but we got to concentrate on what we got to do to win. And that's what we've done all year. We're not going to change that for the last three games of the year.
And it's Mike Smith has announced a few minutes ago as the Edmonton Oilers nominee for the Masterton Trophy this year. Perseverance and hanging in there and having a hell of a season at this age. Just, I guess, some thoughts on, a guy that's matching his career numbers at age 39.
Yeah, excellent choice. Excellent choice. He's, he's a epitome of a guy that puts the work in and is committed to being a good player. And I've seen him do it since he was a rookie, and he's still doing it at 39. So credit to him, and he's come in very motivated and played very well for us, been a big part of our team this year. So that's a great choice.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, can you update us on the health of Chris Russell? Or do you think he's going to be ready for playoffs?
He's skating at home. Him and Cassian are both skating at home. So that's an unknown still. He's I don't anticipate him playing before the end of the regular season, but some of whether he's ready for the playoffs might be dictated by when we start the playoffs. We don't know that yet.
Okay. And, you look at some of your team, you obviously want every guy moving in. You've got a few of your top 6 guys who at 5-on-5 kind of snake bit a little bit. Cahoon, Yamamoto, Nugent Hopkins, the 3 of them have only combined for like 1 point and 5 assists here in the last few months, playing with the league's top scorers. How important is it to get those guys going at even strength?
Well, you have to get everybody going like we're talking about, but there's guys that know they can produce a little more. Those guys are all in that boat, but we're trying to, we need that balance throughout our lineup. That being said, all 3 of those guys have played well. They just haven't capitalized on some chances in that. So, hopefully those chances you start to get some results from those chances, and then the outlook looks a little better. But when you watch their game away from the puck, I mean, how they fit into the structure, how we're playing is all strong. But that being said, the results of the helping out on the score sheet would certainly help our group to be more balanced.
Josh Clipperton, Canadian Press.
Hey, Dave, just a little bit bigger picture question here. There was some relaxation of the COVID protocols for players that have been, or teams that have been fully vaccinated. That's obviously not the case up here in Canada. I'm just wondering what you think about what's going to be kind of a 2-tiered playoff system where there's certain rules for certain teams in terms of gathering, and then up here in Canada it's going to be totally different. Or are you just happy that some people are getting back to normal?
Well, it is what it is. You have to it's the way the world is right now. There's different things. I mean, you look at a lot of parts of the U.S. are wide open, and Canada is still closed down. So you just have to deal with where you're at. Hopefully as we go along here, as the regulations of who gets vaccinated in Canada continues to go down, that teams can catch up on that, but time will tell.
Thank you.
Terry Jones, Post Media.
Dave, in a way, you guys have a chance to pick your playoff opponent here, but what I'm more interested in than that is, have you been given any indication by the NHL? And I know there's one scenario that could make this last for days after your last game, but is your expectation that you could be opening the playoffs a week tonight?
I haven't had any update on any dates yet. We're looking as far as even Saturday. I don't think there's been a game time set for Saturday, so we're in the dark as far as that goes. We know it, most likely be middle of the week next week sometime. So we'll just have to, we're concentrating on these last 3 games. We want to make sure that we're prepared no matter when we start. So as far as planning purposes and days in between after the last game, it's still up in the air.
Thank you.
Last question, Guillaume Lafrancois, La Presse.
Hi, Dave. I know you touched a bit on the rest issue earlier. I just want to know, regarding specifically Connor and Leon, are you looking maybe in those 3 games to maybe even out a little bit more the minutes, the time on ice, or are you still looking to play them 20 minutes or so?
Well, we'll see how the game goes. The game dictates how that goes. They want to keep playing. They want to keep playing well, and that's what will be our goal for the last 3 games.
Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes Dave Tippett's media availability.